Huzzah and well met to you, Netherworld ranchers and dimensional cowboys. And today's video is going to be Hoglin Farms, as requested by I'm Not Steve 94. But before we get started, I do want to mention thank you for all of your patience with me, as this has been a hectic couple of weeks. I mentioned in a post that there was a surgery in my immediate family. It was not life threatening or emergency caliber of a surgery, but it was urgent and needed to be done. The recovery time for this person is going to be very slow, like 6 to 8 weeks time. And so to help lift all of that, the family has all had to shoulder a little extra responsibility lately, which is just fine. We're happy to do it, but it does mean that we're all a little busier than usual. So, with that out of the way, I appreciate all your patience, and I hope we can continue along as we have before with the weekend updates or weekend videos. So, as you were just watching, possibly, you probably saw these hoglins falling into this trench here and getting smoked in these soul campfires. This design comes to us from Silentwisperer, and I never know if that's Whisperer or Whisper. So I'll have to double check. I'll link them in the description to their channel. This farm was updated at 1.16 or 1.16, and it is kind of slow. It's a little unimpressive. You can double stack this layer. You don't need to redo the trenches once you've built them. That's all you need. But this platform from these gray concrete blocks upward for 1, 2 blocks can be recreated directly on top of this for a multi-layer farm. And I think you could fit 3 of them before you get outside of the spawn limitations, which is from 25 to 45 blocks away approximately. So just keep that in mind as you stack this up if you really need lots and lots and lots of pork chops and leather. This, with the soul campfires, will not cook the pork chops ahead of time for you, and we'll get you a large overview so you can see just how big this thing is. Essentially, this is a large platform in the center of a lava lake. This prevents any spawns from nearby, and it must be in a crimson forest biome or crimson fungus biome, whichever that one actually is. You'll be able to tell from all these red particles floating around. And we have a nether fortress over there, but you'll see this red nylium and crimson wart and these crimson trees, as well as the red vines hanging down and crimson fungus, which are important for later. Keep those in mind. But for now, we're using warped fungus, and we're using warped wood trapdoors, but any trapdoors are fine because all trapdoors are non-flammable. You can use any blocks that are non-flammable here in the nether, otherwise they'll just burn. And what we have is platforms divided by glass walls that keeps the hoglins from endlessly running laps around the farm. And hoglins are always scared of warped fungus. So we place warped fungus in the center here, and they will always, as they spawn, be running away. The trapdoors are important because it prevents any of the piglins or zombie piglins from spawning, as they are suddenly too tall for this area. But hoglins are not. And they have been spawning as we're watching here. We'll float up a little ways and see if we can't spot 1 or 2. Well, that one fell from somewhere. We can accelerate this a little. In creative mode, you can use the commands just to smoke everything all at once. We'll try to get far enough away that we can see some of them spawning, but Silent claims that this farm will do approximately 1,400 items per hour, which is only almost 22 full stacks of items. So it'd be into this third row. These are not hyper productive farms, which is why I'm Not Steve requested I make one with a trident killer. So let's come over here to another design that doesn't seem to work any faster, but you might prefer it depending on your particular crimson biome and lake. Uh, we'll save this fortress for later because that will make a good fortress farm when I get around to making that. But you'll see one of the problems with nether farming is slabbing off the entire area around a farm, which is why we choose to build in a lake, because more area that is occupied by nothing or lava means less area for spawn points, and slabbing off your spawn points can become a gigantic hassle. So, anyways, you'll see these are slabbed off so that nothing can spawn on our farm. But this is a really basic version here. This one can use lava, or you could use the soul campfires like before. You just put one bucket in the corner there, and it will take care of the rest. And I have a variation over there built with a trident killer that I will show you in just a moment. But we get our platform up here. This is 20 blocks from our green corner slabs there. We build this platform, and our hoglins can spawn on our platform. We'll get far enough away to make that happen for demonstration purposes. And see if we don't spot one or two popping up on our platform here. We've just put on each side a warped fungus, and in each corner another warped fungus, and there's a hole in the center. Yeah, I've done zero spawn proofing in this world, so just for demonstration purposes. Whoops, I didn't mean to break that. There. That, once again, keeps our pig... Oh, did he fall in already? Sure did. That was a silly piglin. This one will end you up with cooked pork chops. It won't harm the leather because there's only the one lava source block. The hoppers will suck up the items before they can get burned up, and that will automatically extinguish them burning. So there you have that. This is once you've built your vertical tube here to drop your hoglins in. This is just 7 blocks out from that center rim. You want to put trapdoors in the center or around the edge of your hole there as well, so that your hoglins will try to step onto the open trapdoors thinking it's a full block and fall. That's like common Minecraft wisdom, but somehow it doesn't seem to be working as well these days. I don't know if there was some kind of update to update mob intelligence so that they don't do that as much. I've tried using the coral fans, as you saw in the other farm. Tried using trapdoors and buttons, and I think the coral fans work most consistently, but that is a lot of coral to have to go and gather from the ocean. And trapdoors are just much easier to get a hold of. And even though it might work not quite as well, you're still going to get the hoglins into the hole and into the kill chamber. So this is a modified kill chamber that uses our trident killer setup. We have some pistons here. We have a solid block on top of them that's going to conduct our signal, and our observer is observing a dropper. And we just repeat that all the way around. It's an observer observing this dropper and sending that signal into this blue concrete block, which powers the piston below it and powers the dropper next to it, causing our observer to observe that dropper being powered, and so on and so forth. If you've seen any of my other videos, it is the same design of Trident Killer. I would recommend that you have a trap door here to help keep things inside, like, say, hoglins. And what you do on top of that is you expand out your platform so that it matches the 3x3 interior of that tube, and then you build it up 20 blocks and build your uh, spawning platform on top of that as well. You put trapdoors inside. Once again, you don't have to. I don't know how much that actually helps. Keep these slabbed off so that you don't get piglins or zombie piglins spawning inside of your uh, farm or your hoglin tube there. And yeah, you can hold a sword with the looting enchantment while you're standing right here. It doesn't damage your trident to push it around like that continuously. So any hoglins that fall in here will constantly be taking damage from your moving trident. They'll get wiped out. Your hoppers underneath will collect all the goodies. And there you have that. So the final solution that I've come up with for hoglin farming is to place them. You don't need to use glass for this, but I want you to be able to see it on top of 3 fence posts in a triangle. This allows you to breed them with crimson fungus. I told you that'd be important later. So you do that. The baby hoglin will fit between the fence posts. Once in a great while, you'll see one get stuck there on top of a fence post or wedged into a corner because of the adults. It doesn't happen very often, but it does happen. You place them on a platform where there's a warped fungus to scare them away, and you can funnel them whichever direction you want. Then you could, once again, push them towards a trident killer. Just use this tube design. You could even put 4 of these, 1 to each side of a tube, and manually breed your hoglins. Then you have to let them grow up before you force them down the tube, but that's not too much of an ask. But if you really just like basic farms that do the work yourself, feel free to use one of these designs. Like I said, these farms are a bit slow, but you can stack up extra layers to speed up the process, depending on how many pork chops you really feel that you need in your world. So that's really all there is to hog. Oh, I do need to teach you about slabbing off your areas here. So if you are really struggling to find yourself a great open area of lava lake or anything like that, what you're going to have to do as you get to building your farm area is you're going to have to find all of the flat areas in your immediate area from your farm and start placing bottom half slabs on every spawnable block for 50 blocks out from your farm. That might be a little bit far away, but definitely we can see while we're over here that zombie piglins are spawning here, and you will have to go and find every block that's spawnable and cover it up. And like I said, 50 blocks out from your farm, it becomes a gigantic pain, especially when you consider that there might be a whole cave system that runs through the nether up here where you can't see. You might have to go inside of any of these hills or areas around here. As far, let's see, how far exactly is 50 blocks away from our edge here? So we're at 159. So we need to go to 109 or negative 109. So approximately right here, you would need to be slabbing everything off from these two this way, covering all of this ground until you get all the way to the farm. This is why we choose the lava lakes, and hoglins only spawn in crimson forest biomes. So, that's just about everything there is to know about hoglin farming. It's really not difficult stuff, but it is tedious to get these farms working properly, and they're generally a little bit slow. However, leather and pork chops are both really valuable commodities here in Minecraft, or resources, I guess I should say. You're not selling them to anybody, unless you are on a server or some kind of multiplayer marketplace type of deal. Uh, so, with that all being said, I am the White Sun Paladin. I do really appreciate your patience with all of this, and I know this video isn't super exciting, but there you have it. I hope you are blessed on your next quest, and I'm off to my next adventure.